What is up, everybody? It's another beautiful week. Monday morning. Normally I catch y'all fresh when I'm getting out of work, but I'm feeling good this week, so I went straight to the gym. Got some goofball with a noisy muffler. Like, do y'all think you're cool when you got these noisy mufflers? Like, you're just obnoxious. You're like people on motorcycles. Anyways, so what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about what is taking so long in the heavyweight division. Why are we having an interim fight for the interim belt, and then months later we're gonna have the heavyweight fight? All right. So, and part of my frustration in this, I'm going to try to cover everything I can. Man, my camera's looking clear today. I don't know what I did, but boy, I look good. All right, so, like 2 years ago, it seemed like Tom Aspinall and Tuivasa were always on the same card. They were always fighting at the same time. And I know I spoke it to people. If I didn't speak it, I tweeted it or I put it on Facebook. But I feel like I thought it in my head and I didn't write it out in time. And then when it kind of got closer, I ended up like putting it on the internet. But I know I told several people I train with, this was like 6 fights ago. I was like, Aspinall versus Tuivasa for the #1 contender. Like, just do it now. Like, because there's not a lot at heavyweight. Like, all right, so we have a top 10. We have a top 10 at heavyweight. We got John Jones. That's the champion. He's fought one time. The number 2 is, I guess, Stipe, who is coming off a loss. His last 2 out of 3 fights, he had 2 losses. Like, is that right? Do I have that right? Lost to Francis, beat DC, lost to DC. And that's like over the course of 5 years. Like, I don't remember, I barely remember Stipe in there with his hair parted like Bart Simpson, getting knocked out by Francis. That was a while ago. Who's number 3? I'm guessing number 3 is Sergey, the guy that Aspinall just beat, who don't even act like you knew who he was. He came out of nowhere. 2 fights ago, we didn't know who this guy was. Number 4 is Tom Aspinall. Who's number 5? It's like, who is 5? 5, Curtis Blades? Like, okay, that's fine. Then what, Tuivasa? Cyril Gane's in there somewhere. I feel like I just named the entire heavyweight division. I'm sorry. I just feel like I named the entire heavyweight division. What are we doing? It's like we're trying to force the heavyweight division to be good. Here's what's really going on. John Jones wants out of the game. John Jones isn't good with money. He jacked his money up. And he had to sign this huge freaking 8-fight contract. He literally made a bad decision. He's going to be locked in with the UFC for the rest of his life. We're not going to be able to see John Jones do exhibition boxing or go to another league, whatever. He's stuck in for 8 fights. He's not going to have 8 more fights. Unless he pulls like Anderson Silva and just goes like 1-7. I just don't see him doing it. The only fight he wants is Stipe. He wants Stipe to prove it to himself. The only fight Stipe wants is John. If Stipe beats John, he's done. Like, there's nothing left to do. He's going to be done. He'll be like, I'm the greatest ever. And he's determined to do it. He's not going to take any other fight than that. They've both earned the respect of the UFC. So the UFC is giving it to them. You know, they're giving them the opportunity to have what they want. Chances are they're both going to retire after their fight, win or lose, whoever wins or loses. If John loses, I don't see John retiring. But, you know, whatever. But we just had an interim fight We don't even know when Stipe and John are going to fight. And then you'll have to add 3 months after when Stipe and John fight for Aspinall to get his shot. Assuming that whoever has the belt isn't retired. Like, why? Why are we doing all this? The real answer is just money. It's just money. Try to create value, try to create revenue. Which, if you saw my video the other day talking about the UFC and a financial buying, like, everything's pointing to it. All right. I didn't expect this, but I was listening to Chael and I got this piece of information. Tom Aspinall and them just fought at Madison Square Garden. That was supposed to be John Jones and Stipe. The fight changed on 2 weeks' notice, I think, to Aspinall and Sergey And John Jones and Stipe did not sell out Madison Square Garden. John Jones has a history of not really being a draw. That's not to diminish his talents or anything. Sugar Ray Leonard had the same problem. Amazing, one of the best boxers ever, if not the best. So you keep the belt and you keep that match because they're only going to fight each other. They're both going to walk away if they don't. And you try to keep that hype. But I don't think it's going to work. I think it looks trashy. Instead, and you're shortcoming Tom. Like, you're trying to hold on to these guys that are about to disappear. They're about to retire. They're about to leave. And you want to pay their respects and their dues. But you also have to respect the sport. And if Tom is your future, Tom's a good-looking guy. Seems well-spoken. Smart, strong, performs well. He can talk on a mic. Why wouldn't you push him? Because he's going to be the one for 8 years that you can make some money off of. And he's going to be the one for 8 years that you're going to be dependent off of, so you're going to want to have his favor. You're not going to want to end up in a situation like how I'm trying to get that sun glare out, how they did Leon Edwards. You don't want a dude to walk off with the belt. You don't want to do it like you did Francis. But it's like they're setting themselves up to do that to try to catch up on money. I don't know if there was really a point or a conclusion to this video, but I feel like it's wrong what they're doing at heavyweight. If it wasn't clear, John Jones and Stipe were booked for the heavyweight title at this most recent pay-per-view last Saturday. About 2-3 weeks before, John Jones tore his shoulder. Dana came out and said he wouldn't be able to compete for 8 months. So we're looking at August of next year when we might see John Jones again. Maybe July. Then you're literally looking at a year away before you see Tom Aspinall get to fight again. And not just get to fight again, because that's a challenge in itself. Like, is he going to want to sit on the shelf and not get paid for that long? You're just tying up the division. The heavyweight division's always sucked, and you had a dude that wanted to be active, and you're closing the door on him. I don't know. That's 9 minutes. Kind of rambled. Y'all have a good week. It's the War Lab. You know what we do. Hey, get the milk, because we're about to put the captain in this crunch, baby.